Move the mic a little bit close.
So this happened. So the audio quality today won't be as good. I don't have another way to mount this up to be near my mouth, so this will probably be just as bad. Excuse any subpar audio quality today. Hello everybody, welcome to Techlore. My name is Henry and you're watching the channel. In short, we have a ton of different projects all happening at once. This is my fault and it's a result of me not being able to prioritize projects well enough. It's a problem, right? So I get this cool idea and it's like, oh my gosh, we should totally do that because I think that would help a ton of people and I don't think about all the other things that we're doing. And then before you know it, we have 8 different projects that we're working on and I can't simply manage all of that workload. But it is what it is. It's a mistake. It happened. The question is, what do we do from here? As of today, we have surveillance reports, we have Go Incognito, VPN reviews. There are more communities than I can possibly manage, standard videos that you all request and want to see, and I have a life too, you know, I actually do things outside of this channel. I have this weirdo. I have school, I'm in a research lab, I run, I'm doing an internship, so yes, I do other things outside of the YouTube channel. Realistically, what I really need is an employee, specifically an editor, because this would essentially double the output of the channel because it's not necessarily the scripting and all of that that takes up the most time. It's mostly the editing. That would be the goal. Unfortunately, as of right now, this is both a very expensive thing to start up, considering I probably need to get new hardware for the editor, as well as probably getting new things for them, as well as setting them up, and likely establishing a company to make this all safer to do in California, which is expensive. So that there's that, and also not something I currently have the funds for to accommodate in terms of like monthly payments and paying this person. We'll cover funding towards the end of the video to maybe one day make that possible, but as of today, that's just not something that we can currently accommodate, unfortunately. So that's ruled out. So what else can we do? Let's start with very specific tasks and roles that I need filled. These are not paid jobs, but they're also, for the most part, really easy, that won't take up much of your time at all, and would significantly help my job of managing all of these projects. If you're interested in a role that I'm going to mention, DM me in any of our communities, or submit a form or web page, or email me directly. Whatever is easiest, just don't leave a comment below. That's the worst way to do it. Just directly contact me so we can have a one-on-one discussion about these things. So how can you help directly? The first project is Go Incognito. This isn't necessary, and in all honesty, it isn't a difficult task. I can do this myself. It's just one more thing that I don't have to worry about. Especially since after I'm done uploading a lesson in Go Incognito, the last thing I want to do is check for changes. So if someone could manage the changelog for Go Incognito, this would be excellent. This seems to rarely need to be updated. This is like every few months we're talking, and there may be 1 or 2 updates in that time period. I would send you the update and you just put it in the doc that I give you, and then you send me a final PDF with the new changes, and then I'll upload that to our website. Super easy. This might require about 30 minutes to an hour of your time over the course of 2 to 3 months. That's it. It's a pretty easy task. Another Go Incognito task is uploading to other platforms. This is not necessary and is not like a designated role that you need, but something that would help grow Go Incognito and get it in front of more eyes. Go Incognito is licensed in a way that you can upload and share it yourself to any platform of your choice, assuming I'm credited and assuming it's not monetized. I did this on purpose so that, the information is freely public. You can share this wherever you want and anyone can view it. There's no paywalls or anything like that. So if you have some extra time on your hands, feel free to download the current videos and upload them to whatever video platform you can think of. Just copy and paste the same title and description used on YouTube and use the same thumbnail. This would be an immense help. If you're very committed to doing this, let me know and I can send you a zip with everything to make your life easier so you don't have to download a ton of files from YouTube using third-party tools and then trying to grab the thumbnail using other third-party tools. It's messy. I can try to send you as much as I can to make your life a little bit easier. The next project that we work on here is the VPN Reviews. This is so unsustainable, and it's something that I don't know why I've never revamped in the past. The idea that I can do like a year-long update, the more services we do, the more updates we need to do, and we still have to do new services to the point where it's just this giant loop, and it gets to the point where unless I'm uploading every day, it's kind of impossible, and for me to upload every day, the quality would have to dramatically decrease. I don't want to sacrifice quality for being able to do daily uploads like some YouTubers. So what have we done? Right now, my web developer, we're still waiting on the final version to be out and out to the public, but we're doing a VPN chart kind of similar to that privacy site. So if you currently use a VPN that isn't one of these, and you have some extra time on your hands, it would be great if you could submit this following data to our contact page. Just leave it in a bullet point format so I can easily sort through it. I'll leave this all in the description. I'll verify the data, of course, and then add the service to our chart so people have more services to compare to. You don't need to do all the questions, by the way. If you know 80% of them and you don't want to bother to do the last 20%, just submit what you know. That already saves me time. Then I just have to verify the data rather than having to search for it on my own. On a separate note with VPN reviews, I'm going to begin announcing when I start the process of beginning a new VPN review in the YouTube posts thingy, whatever it's called, that doesn't actually exist on every YouTube device. Stupid Google. I'll also post this to other communities as well. When this happens, if you either use the VPN or you have information about the VPN that you feel is valuable to include in the review, send me a message using one of the contact methods to make sure I'm aware of your thoughts, information, and/or sources, whatever you want to add. This is to avoid any mistakes in the review, since it's hard to catch everything as an individual. This is true especially for shady behavior in the past, because a lot of times companies do try to hide previous things that happen, and so it's kind of hard to dig those things out from underground. As an example of this, in my TorGuard review, you'll notice that I mentioned an extension. So TorGuard's extension actually copied another VPN provider's extension almost to the T. They copied the code, they copied the UI, and they actually implemented that copied code insecurely. The only reason why I knew about this is because someone sent me a message on Discord when I announced that I'm working on a TorGuard review. So it's important that when I do announce something, I might not know about it. So send it to me, because it's more important that you mention it just to be safe, and then I include it in the final review than for you to not mention anything at all. On the topic of VPN reviews, the Speed Team. So the Speed Team, if you guys don't already know, is our big project which pretty much tries to average out worldwide speed scores across VPN reviews. We already got 10 testers for iVPN. It's really interesting already, but the goal is to expand this to like 100 people so we could actually have an average for a service, and then we can compare averages between services, and we can say, overall, this service is faster than this service, which should give you a good insight into, is this service a faster service? Overall, this project is super exciting, but logistically speaking, it was a nightmare. Just organizing 10 people was a nightmare for me. But we can actually make this almost fully automated to make my life easy, so I just get the results at the end of the day, and everyone just puts in a little bit of work to make this whole thing come together. To make this easier and to fix almost all these problems, I want leaders of the Speed Team who do the communication with the testers and report the final Speed Team results to me. These don't need to be people who are already in the Speed Team doing the speed testing. It just needs to be someone who is able to send the OpenVPN profiles to speed testers when it's their turn, and then send me the spreadsheet with their results when they're done. That's really it. If we have enough leaders, we also can restrict, maybe each leader follows 10 people or 20 people, whatever number is keeping your workload very low. We're trying to crowdsource labor here for free, so that's what I'm asking for. Luckily, with all the help of the speed testers, with the leaders handling all the speed testers and organizing when they're going to be testing things, and all of that being reported to me in spreadsheets, the only thing at that point would be, how do I get, let's say, 100 spreadsheets and just automatically import all of them into a new one to get an average? Luckily, we had a user in our Discord server who made a Python script that did this, so we automated that whole process big time. Or should I say they, not me. Absolutely incredible, so thank you. That's the kind of stuff that is going to make this kind of project work. So to recap that, we need leaders for the Speed Team. If you're interested in this, let me know. It's really hard for me to estimate the time requirements for this job, but what I can tell you is it's mostly lots of work at once, followed by periods of no work. We normally do at most one VPN review a month. I want to get that higher someday, but as of right now, we're only doing one a month, which in other words means you might have like a week of maybe like 20 to 30 minutes a day for a week, and then 3 weeks of almost no work, if any. Because pretty much your job is to coordinate 10 people and make sure they can all test a service. This is the thing we really need the most probably in this whole video. So if you're interested in being a leader, let me know because we really need that help. Communities. Currently, I just want to mention, our moderators are a complete godsend. I absolutely couldn't handle the communities without them. I'm looking for someone to take a lead on our subreddit community. I've never managed a community before on Reddit, and it's not something I've had enough time to research and apply myself to. This person's goal is to take our community, which is currently full of crickets, and turn them into happy and chatting lemurs, which I've tried. I just can't make it happen. It's clearly not my forte, and like I said, time is a problem right now, so is it worth my time to just get this community going? Probably not, but if someone wants to take that up, I'd really appreciate it. I don't really know what this means and how we would get that to happen, or even how to do this. So whoever is going to do this, I would prefer you have managed a subreddit before, or at least moderated one, or at the very least, just managed a community on some platform. If you want to do this, make sure to include your experience in however way, or whichever way you contact me, because I do want to have some minimum requirements for that role. Tesla. All right, I'm bringing this up again. If you're a Tesla owner or you know someone who owns a Tesla, please either go yourself or have them go to Tesla's new data request form and get a copy of your data. This is pretty new and it might actually give us a lot more context into that old video. I'd really appreciate if you report back to me what the data included for you. You don't have to send me your data, obviously, but tell me like what it included and also your general experience going through the process. I'm doing this myself, but more evidence is always welcome, as well as your thoughts and opinions on that whole experience. As an update, I have someone I've been talking to who's also getting information on opting out of OTA functions of their Model 3. So maybe the video will get a proper resolution after all, and it's actually led me to kind of restart my investigation into Tesla's data practices. And lastly, I want to mention that these were just things that I thought of. If you're creative, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but if you look at my production process and you think that there's some way that you can help with something, let me know. For example, someone on Twitter sent me some photo comparisons for Graphene OS versus stock. They saw that some people asked about this. I think they had this question themselves, and I didn't really talk about this in my review of Graphene OS. So they did a test themselves. They pretty much took pictures with a stock Android device, and then as well as after they installed Graphene OS, and they sent me that and they said I could use it in the video, so that's probably going to be a video coming soon. Or even a Discord member who built that script for me, which will allow me to pretty much take possibly hundreds of spreadsheets and turn them into just one with all the data centralized. This is all the stuff that like needs to happen, at least on my end, because these are things that I normally wouldn't know how to do. So those are all the ways that you can directly help. As for more generic things that you normally hear, which are also equally effective, don't think that what you're doing doesn't help, because anything does help. Make sure you simply watch our content, subscribe, turn on notifications. Sharing our channel and videos to your family, friends, and other communities on the internet are a huge help as well. I've seen spikes in videos when people share something to another community. So it does help. Every view counts. Financially, and this is very important because if we do want that second editor someday, we need the finances to back it up. There are free ways for you to help with finances. If you shop on Amazon, click our storefront link before you start shopping, and whatever you decide to buy will send us a bit of the money back, with no difference to you. I actually just updated my storefront to include lots of new security privacy products, books, and just other things I enjoy. So I'd recommend checking that out to improve your knowledge. Even if you don't buy the things, you can see books there and get them in other places that I highly recommend. There's some great books in there, especially in the security and privacy section, so just check those out. To financially help us directly, we have a Patreon, which I also recently revamped a bit. I post those like Snapchat story knockoff Patreon things. Their version of it is called Lens. So if you want to see more of me and you want to see more of what I do, you can do that with your Patreon. I have lots of other benefits there as well, depending on the tier. And my goal is to make our Patreon community one day a major source of income for the channel, so I can rely less on AdSense and other volatile forms of income, which have been like super hit hard during Corona. And if you can't help by joining our Patreon, please offer some advice on things that can be improved on our Patreon page, because I want to make sure that the patrons do get this great experience, because I don't want it to just be a money funnel. I want there to be some way for me to give back to the community, and I'm still kind of trying to experiment with ways to do that. And as always, thank you current patrons. We've never had this many before, and you're all amazing for being a part of that community. Let's hope to get more. We also have Brave Rewards, so you can donate that to us on our website and YouTube channel. We actually have made a lot from this. Seriously, we got about 2,000 back last month. It was a little bit less than that, but it was almost 2,000. So all of you who donated back to us already, it was noticed, and thank you so much. If we're able to get that up and we can keep that consistent every month, then that might actually turn into its own revenue source, which could one day enable us to have that extra employee. We do have a Monero donation. I've never received anything at this address, so if you want to be the first, I mean, people care about being the first in the comments, so who's going to be the first to send us some XMR? Lastly, we have our merchandise, like this one. And no, it's not a Zuckerberg fanboy shirt, it's a delete Facebook shirt, so haha, delete Facebook fools. And that wraps up all the main ways I could gather for you to help our community. This is all free to watch content. I never want to paywall privacy and security content because it goes against everything I stand for. I do not want to paywall things whatsoever in terms of information. No matter what, you're going to get your content. Don't worry about that. It's just a matter of how profitable this can be, as well as how quickly I and hopefully we one day can get out content so that you, the viewer, will be happier, learn more, and just become a security privacy advocate if you're not already. Again, I want to thank everybody who watches us, follows us, interacts with us, and especially joins our communities. My communities are just, I love them. They pass my time in such a good and sometimes very unhealthy way. I have to thank everyone who moderates our communities because there's no way I could deal with all the trolls and the spammers and everything who joins our communities just to cause trouble. Our moderators are just on it. Thanks especially to everyone who financially supports us. Overall, I can't be doing what I do right now without all of your help. I'm constantly amazed by how much you all help. It just seriously blows me away. So yeah, I can't say thank you enough. Thank you everyone, and have a lemuricious day.